Hello and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. Today I've got a brand new offer for you. We're going to be looking at metal stencils and we're going to be talking about a few of the ways in which you can use them. It's a great little collection we have for you today. There's actually 7 stencils in your set, and if you do choose to purchase those, we then have an add-on bonus one that you can add to your Sunday Showcase offer. These are the stencils just across the front here. I'm going to let you have a little look at those, and then we'll show you a few of the cards I've made with them and chat about the different things you can do with them. Now, one of the nice things with a metal stencil is that they're really deep. So if you wish to use this with something like snow text or texture paste, you're going to get a really deep impression with that product because it's got a larger trough for it to actually sit in when you scrape it through your stencil. So you're going to get a really nice deep end result with that. One of the other good things with metal stencils versus plastic ones is you can use these in your die cutting machines. So if you've got a Cuttlebug or a Gemini, a Grand Caliber, any of them style of machines, you can actually use these to emboss with in your machine. So in the same way in which you would cut a die and then pop on top your rubber mat or your foam mat, and it would then add in these aperture pieces to give it a bit more depth and a bit more detail to your die cut. Because of these are metal, they will go through your machine with no problems whatsoever, but it will just push the card into these holes. So it will give you a very similar effect as to what a embossing folder would. This is one I've done earlier, just one of our background ones. Hopefully you can pick up on how deep the impression is with this. Because again, like I was saying with the texture paste, because it's metal, it's quite a thick material, so it's got more room to push that card into them holes and give you more depth to your design. So once you've actually got that cut, or embossed I should say, up to you then what you do with it. And we'll have a look at a few of the cards I've made and we'll chat about that. So this one is one I've added some gilding wax to. After I've got it, this is the same folder or stencil I should say as what I was just showing you. That's this one here, the first one you would have seen when you scanned over them. And just by embossing it and then adding a little bit of gilding wax to the top, really picks out the detail, doesn't it? Really makes it pop. Now with this project I was heading more for a Christmas ornament, something to stand on a mantelpiece maybe, that could come out year after year. It folds up quite nicely, so you could pop it in a little box and give it with the card. And I've made a little matching card to go with this one. I also wanted to show you that your stencil worked just as well, landscape as well as portrait. So a nice little idea to make the matching card to go with it. Now on here I've added a few dies throughout the projects. We have our poinsettia die. Now this is actually a set of 3 poinsettias that you get all together for only £9. We also have the large reindeer. I'll show you some smaller reindeer a little later, but this is our large reindeer. That die is £8.99, and one of my favourites is this really cute little holly and berries one. I've added them just to the corners, and I've stuck a few little gems on top of the berries piece to it. But you actually get this whole little die for only £4.99, and I think that's just super cute. With a lot of our Christmas items, including our dies, as it is getting quite close now, we are running out of stock, shall we say. So if any of these you see on my projects today, you want them held for you, please do get in the comments quite quickly and tell us what ones you want held and we'll save them for you, because we don't have many left now. That festive season is fast approaching, isn't it? On to this one. Now this is a different style of stencil that I've used for this. This is one of our borders ones. It's got 2 lovely corners, and then in the middle here you've got 3 gorgeous borders which are really intricate. Now on this project I've just used some gold pearl card and I've just stressed through it. Well, I'll show you how to do that a little later, but it will just give you an idea of what the effect is you can achieve with them. And that I've just used in one direction and then switched round to do the other side as well. They match up really nicely and it isn't too difficult at all. If you just match up to the corners of the lines, it's quite simple to do and it gives you a gorgeous frame. Using the line that it inked for me, I've then just cut across that with a knife to turn it into a frame instead of a backing panel. And down the sides here you may notice I really wanted to bring that colour out a bit more, without distressing that I've done on here. So I've used another one of the stencils you receive in your set, which is this one. Now these are larger border stencils, and again obviously you can just use one side or the other. So I've gone for this gorgeous pattern down the side and just done it on my layering card beneath here. We've added a few gems in the middle just to tie it all together. Now the gorgeous poinsettia on this, we've used this previously on other videos. It is my favourite poinsettia. It is also our most expensive, but it is gorgeous. It's our lovely one over here. Again, you get 3 layers in it over here, so you can see the different sizes. That one's £23.49, but it is our premium quality ones, which means they're Teflon coated, and as you can see on the die, it etches all of these details into it for you. So it gives you this gorgeous texture actually on the design when you make it. I've then just heat embossed the edges and the tips of it just to give it that nice gold sparkle, and added a few rhinestones in the middle. Moving on to our next card, I've stuck with that same poinsettia die because as I say it really is one of my favourites. But I've just split it up so you can see you can use it as different sizes. You don't have to use all 3 of the same size each time. And then at the back here we've got a fern die, that again is available in store, that one's only £13.49. But more importantly is this beautiful piece that runs around the corners of the card. That again is just distress inks for another one of our stencils, and that's this one here, this beautiful swirly design that runs around the side. Just done it on each corner of the card. Now again you could match this up and do it the whole way around if you wanted to. Or like mine, you can just stick to opposite corners, it's your choice. One of the beautiful things with these designs is they do match up quite easily if you do want to extend them. Alright, and then we'll move on to another card. So this card again, this is talking about making them into borders. This is one I have literally made all the way into the square of the card. Runs all the way around, and that's using this stencil here. And it's the design that runs across this side of it. That one there. I quite like this, it's quite a regal design running around that bit. In the background here, this is just a bit of craft card. I've just stressed the edges, and I've also used our background stencil going back to that one I believe. This one here it is, and I'm just inked through it just to put a little bit more of that colour in there as well. On top of this one I've used a few dies as well. So we have our gorgeous Christmas foliage, we call this one. This one's £5.99. And then we have our cute little reindeers. These are our small reindeers, and you get both of them together for £5.99 as well. Now the last 3 projects I've shown you, the pictures on them or the text on them, the big pictures in the middle, all of those come on one 12 by 12 sheet, and you get a few other bits as well. So if you do like them, that's available in store, and it's only £1.29. But it's just another way to show you how you can take one 12 by 12, cut it up and make several projects out of it. Now of course these stencils aren't just for Christmas. We have done a few everyday ones as well. So I'll take you over to this one. This is one of our birthday cards instead, so thinking of next year now. And I've used the same design as what I just showed you, same stencil that is, but this time we've used this side of it to make up our border. And we've just gone around the whole of that topper panel with that one. Isn't that a really gorgeous, delicate design? And I've been a bit over the top here with my gems, but I'm using our really lovely value gems that are only £1 and you get 1,080 of them on a sheet. So you don't mind splurging a little bit more when you're paying, well, not even pennies per gem, are you? So it doesn't really matter if you use a few more than you normally would. So that's that part round there. Of course we've got a couple of dies added on this one too. We've got our lovely nesting flower. That does actually come with some leaves of its own and a couple of other bits. That's set £6.99. And in the background here we've got our leaf swirl. That one's £5.99 and just comes on its own. But it's a lovely little lilac-y purple card. Now last week I made a card that I really loved. I don't know if you will see last week's showcase. But again, it had a lot of gilding wax on it, and it was very, I think that one was a Christmas one instead, but I really liked that sort of gilding wax, shabby chicy sort of effect. So I've sort of copied that really and gone with this one, but it does work really nicely. Because of these are such deep impressions, hopefully you're seeing how the gilding wax just goes into the background and is quite subtle, but over the top it's really heavy and really vibrant and really metallic-y. I really like that effect on that one. And that's this stencil here, just to give you a different idea. Again, once I've gilding waxed it and embossed it, I've just used a knife and cut out the middle of it. And then on the side here I've just built up these really heavy flowers. Now you don't have to build them this big if you don't want to, but that's using this little set of dies over here, and you get all 3 of them for only $4.99. So it's a proper little bargain set of flowers, that one. Down the edge, again, I've used another one of our stencils. This is so beautiful, I love this. I'm trying to work out a way that I can add this to my wardrobes, because I think that would be lovely furniture detailing. Again, another one of our embossed ones, just put through the machine, gilding waxed over the top, and then just cut along the edge to give you that effect. But I think that one comes together quite nicely. And then moving on to our last card of today, that's this one at the end, if I can stretch across to get it. And I wanted to show you that you can use these stencils for men as well. They don't have to be women or Christmas or flowery. So again, I thought we'd go for a bit of a nautical theme this time. I got to use our brand new die. This is a lovely ship die. I really like this. The first time I got to play about with it. And this one's in the store at the moment for $10.99. On this layer here, this is using another one of our stencils. That's this one. And that's this side of it across there to make up that frame. Again, just do one side, turn it around and do the other. And then in the background, I've gone back to this original one, the very first one I showed you. And although the stencil obviously is only that size, I've just matched up and sort of moved it around and extended the pattern to make it like this. And in the middle here, that bit is all open. It's a bit inky and a bit messy, don't get me wrong, but we're covering it up so it doesn't actually matter. But it just shows you can use the stencil and just continue the design across to make up larger patterns or backgrounds if you wish. So now you've seen the cards I've made, I thought we'd have a little look at some of the things I've done with them so you can actually see how they work. So I thought we'd do a little bit of distressing with them first of all. So let's pick a stencil. Should we go for this one? So with these, the thing that I found easiest to use is our eggs. I don't know if you've seen these before. They're like blending eggs. And we're going to start off today using aged mahogany. So we'll just pick up a little bit of that from my very glittery ink pad. Now if you was doing this for an actual project at home, we would of course recommend that you use a little bit of stencil tape or even sellotape if you've got nothing better to hold it in place. But I will just hold it and we will just rub over the top of this just to show you how easy it is. And if you just ink over the top of it, you can go back and fill in any holes that you've missed as you go, if you wish to. But I won't bore you with doing lots of it, but that just shows you how simple it is and what a crisp effect you're going to get. If you're working directly onto a card blank and you're worried about the pieces going over the edges, obviously just take another piece of card and put that against where you're working. So when you do that, it will just go off to the side instead and won't affect what you're doing, if that makes sense. Should have done it over there so you could see it a bit better, but I weren't prepared for that one. But equally, you get to see what I mean, hopefully. But isn't that a gorgeous design? Doesn't that just come out really lovely? Again, if I looked at these the first time, I was a little bit worried about how I was going to ink these borders and not get these bits in the middle. Ever so simple. Again, if you've got masking tape, brilliant. If not, just a little bit of sellotape across the top of the bits you don't want to get, and then you can ink the bits you do want to get and not worry about them because they're covered up and you'll just get the part of the pattern you want. Same with the corners. If you find that easier, just mask them off. You might see on this one a little bit of double-sided tape on here just to hide the bits that I didn't want to get when I was actually using that one for my examples. But it works. It means you get the stencil part you want and not everything else. And there's something I thought we really should chat about. Is the last couple of weeks I keep going on about how much I love gilding wax, but I have never actually shown you how to use it. So I've saved this to the end of our demo because it's something I tend to get covered in. So I thought that it wouldn't matter so much as I hopefully don't have to touch too many other things. So this can be used on so many things. I've added it to dies. Let's have a little look over here. This die started off as a pearl gold card, but I quite like to give more tone to them. Same as this one over here. This is another one that was all just cut out in the burgundy card, but you can just brush this over. And of course I've used it on the backing panel here, actually as stencil, to highlight the pattern that the stencil is going to give you in the embossing machine. So I thought I would show you how to do it if you haven't seen this before. So here's one of our stencils, just embossed again through my Gemini, already done. This is actually the wax itself. It's got a really lovely smell to it. It smells a bit like shoe polish. We do a couple of different brands, so there are different price points available. The one I'm using, it is a quality thing. You do get what you pay for. I am using the posh one. This one's $11.99 a jar. Comes in a couple of different colours, but I really love this gold shade. I just think it goes so well with my style of crafting. But you can pick, of course, your own shades. We also do a cheaper one, which is only $6.49 a pop, and it's sort of got a hair jelly style texture to it. But if you just go in and get a little bit out on the tip of your finger, of course you can wear gloves if you want to. The way I tend to find easier to use is if you take it and put a little bit in the palm of your hand, so you've got the finest amount actually on your finger, because this is one of those things that it goes so far, you need such a little bit of it. And if you do take it direct from the pot onto your project, you'll just end up with a smudge of it instead of a delicate effect. But once you've got it on the tip of your finger, literally just brush over the pattern you want to highlight. And again, this can be used on so many different projects and products. We use it a lot in the card making and scrapbooking side of things, but people use this on furniture and fabrics and all different things. But read a jar and it will tell you more about it if you wish to be more adventurous than just paper craft. But then you can just go back to the palm of your hand, pick up more when you're feeling you're running low, and just keep on adding. This jar you're seeing here, it's actually one that I've stolen from the shop. It's one that we've used in many workshops over the last couple of months, as well as in a lot of my projects that you've seen on the videos and personal projects too. And as you can see, it hardly looks like we've even opened it, let alone used it to any great extent. So you do get so much from these. They're just incredible value. They'll just go and go and go. But as I'm hoping you're getting the idea of now, it will just highlight as much or as little as you want to. And if you want it to be heavier, just go back over with a bit more. And then once you've done it, a lot of people believe that it's nice to buff it with a cloth and it'll give you a bit more sheen. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of doing that, but if you want to, it certainly doesn't hurt it. And it'll take off any excess if you've got any on there. As I say, this one I'm using today is $11.99 and available in store. But that hopefully covers a couple of the things we've done with them. So we've explained to you that with the stencils, you can gild and wax them once you've embossed them if you want to. You can use them with inks, you can use them with texture pastes. You really can do quite a lot with these. So let's talk about your price points. So obviously this is an offer because it's a Sunday showcase. So normally each of these stencils retails for $4.99 singly. And the skinny border ones, these ones are normally $3.49. So to buy all 7 alone costs you £31.93. But because this is a Sunday showcase, you can buy all 7, which is those ones there on the table, for only £15. So that's less than half price. Now we do of course only have a certain amount of these available, but they are a sort of a one-off offer thing, so please don't hesitate to get in there if you like them. In saying this, we also have a bonus one. Now I really have very limited stocks of this one. I was hoping we'd have enough that we could include it with all of the sets, but this was very much a first come first served item. If you would like the bonus one, that's just an extra £1.50, meaning that you'll get the whole set in total for only £16.50, which gives you £36.92's worth of products as such to use. And of course the good bit with this is it doesn't matter if you've got a machine or not, you can use them to spritz through, ink through, colour through, or you can of course pop them in your machine and hopefully get some of the effects that we've done on today's cards if you like them. I hope we've given you a couple of ideas. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us in the comments. It's what we're here for. All in all, this offer is, that's the bit I forgot to tell you about. The offer is valid until 5 PM Saturday the 19th of November. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next week when we have another new product to share with you. Bye for now.